Okay, so at this point, I feel like this is intentional. And what I mean by that is these outlets like Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Screen Rant, running with these articles with these crazy headlines that they know are going to get people arguing and fighting, waiting until like right before one of these superhero movies comes out, and then they drop the story, drop the headline, and they run with it. They get excited when they hear, James Gunn or Kevin Feige or whoever talking about something like this, because they know it's going to get people fighting on the internet. They just know it. And I read it and I'm like, yeah, this headline makes sense based on the classic story of Superman. But we're in 2025 and we know that somebody's going to turn this into some sort of battle on the internet. It's like Mortal Kombat or something. Let's read the article and see what was actually said, because I think it's really important to sort of get to that point, right? So it says here, the headline is James Gunn says Superman is about an immigrant that comes from other places and how we've lost the value of basic human kindness. Yes, it's about politics. Yeah, so it says Gunn acknowledged that the movie's themes may be interpreted differently across political groups, especially considering the current nationwide unrest around immigration. However, Gunn stands by the ideals embedded in Superman and added that he doesn't care if anyone takes offense. Now, that in itself is going to get the usual suspects screaming and hollering and being mad here on YouTube. Just know it. I can already see the videos popping up today alongside my video. Theirs are going to get much more hits because it's outrage. People are going to be mad. Okay. Yes, it plays differently, but it's about human kindness, and obviously there will be jerks out there who are just not kind and will take it as offensive just because it is about kindness. But screw them. I actually agree with this statement. I think this is a based statement from James Gunn. I've been critical of James Gunn. Like, I don't agree with everything that he says and does, but that's a base statement. He continued, yes, it's about politics, but on another level, it's about morality. Do you never kill no matter what, which is what Superman believes, or do you have some balance, as Lois believes? It's really about their relationship and the way different opinions on basic moral beliefs can tear two people apart. None of that sounds outlandish for me when it comes to Superman. None of that sounds outlandish. I just want to double check. I went back and looked. So the original intent in 1938 from Jerry and Joe, when they created Superman, was an immigration theme. It was implicitly present. You have Clark Kent Kal-El is an alien from Krypton raised in Kansas, essentially an immigrant assimilating into American society. This is what not everybody, this is what a large vocal group within the fandom likes to scream, is that he represents American values. So they admit that he came here from somewhere else, was raised in America, and to them, that represents American values. They see this immigrant as a representative of American values. But the cognitive dissonance in their minds tells them otherwise. Siegel and Schuster were themselves the sons of Jewish immigrants from Eastern Europe, and their experiences of cultural assimilation and outsider status inform the character, whether conscious or not. Superman's dual identity is often read as an allegory for immigration, dual consciousness being one privately and another publicly to fit in. Sort of like code switching. Like what a lot of marginalized groups have to do today is code switch. You code switch in public. You act a little bit different depending on who you're around because you have to in order for society to sort of accept those things about you. And it sucks, but that's just the reality of it. So yeah, this particular article, this headline, I'm assuming based on the way this is being handled, because the movie comes out in a few days. I already got my tickets, which by the way, go grab your tickets if you want them. I'm assuming that they're going to do the same thing to the Fantastic Four. They will either rerun in big headlines a story about what was said about Johnny Storm, or they'll run the story where they talk about Sue being the core of the family. Like they'll run one of those two stories, unless they can get some sort of clickbaity soundbite from somebody else on the cast that says the wrong thing that they can sort of drum up and misconstrue into a headline. I really hate that we exist in a place here in the fandom where something as basic as human kindness becomes controversial when speaking about immigration because of how polarized immigration has become in the United States of America. And I'm not even going to really dive into that political aspect of it. That's another can of worms, especially for the channel here. But yeah, I feel like in my mind, this reads to me like who Superman is at the core. This is who Superman is, like a foundational element of the character. So this doesn't shock me at all. But I know for a fact that a lot of people on social media, a lot of people on YouTube are going to scream and holler and get mad about this because James Gunn is pointing out something that is part of the core identity of Superman. And for some reason, that makes them mad.